Welcome in, everyone. Rod, I was laughing because, well, people probably know this here in the chat, but basically we have a service at REPP called REPP Engine, where we have a team of appointment setters who cold call real estate agents for our clients and book them into their calendar. But don't worry, I'm not starting off with a pitch. That's not why I bring this up.
Go right into it, huh?
Right into it. I somehow in the CRM that we use to manage all the leads. So like basically how it works is we have Zillow researchers who find all the leads, put them in a CRM, and then the appointment setters call them. Somehow my number, my personal phone got set as the callback number for one of our appointment setters. And I kept getting these voicemails from realtors saying like, you called about this property in like Massachusetts, and then it would be like in a different, and I was like, it's gotta be something REPP Engine related, but we looked and we like couldn't figure it out. And I'm not even kidding. It's like, I've still been getting probably, I don't know. I mean, hold on. Let me just, can I show this without showing my phone number? Probably.
Don't do it.
The amount of like missed calls. Yeah. I don't know who's else. You'll just see. There's a bunch of, well, I mean, you can see it now. But basically, tons of real estate agents have been calling me back, which is
call back though. You know what I'm saying? That's top tier service.
I didn't know who they were. I was like, I didn't look up this house in Bismarck, North Dakota. So I thought the reason I bring this up is because we just solved this problem. But I thought that somebody that I'd give my number to was just messing with me and calling, like putting my name in all these contact forms.
Like someone like Dave Burley.
Yeah, you could have been Dave Burley. It's absolutely
been him, and that's why we banned you that once, Dave. That's why, you know.
Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, I know we started off with that, which is unrelated, but it's kind of related to busy season. I will say, you know, this live, we wanted to spend some time talking about how to not miss out on busy season. And just the more we've had REPP Engine for what, 6 months now, Rod? I will say 6 months.
Engine?
6, 7 months? No, longer than that, since we first started beta testing. 6, I'd say. Right?
Oh, okay, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right.
6. The point I was going to make is nothing to do with Engine. It's that if your goal is to get more clients as a real estate photographer, there's just nothing that beats cold calling. I mean, it crushes as far as client acquisition goes. And so, obviously that's a service we offer, but it's a service you can do on your own. You don't have to hire us to cold call for you. Most people just don't like doing it, but it works really well. And so, just jumping right into like what to do to prepare yourself for busy season. I'd say one of the biggest ones is don't let like the holiday feel carry into January and February, you know, especially if you're in somewhere where it's cold weather and it kind of feels like busy season takes longer to start. This time of year is such a good time to continue to do client acquisition because you're just so close to feeling it in your business, feeling it by when an agent gets a listing and calls you, right? But we were talking about this in one of the launch group calls last week, my call that I hosted, or the week before, I don't recall which one, but either way, it was someone who is a realtor transitioning to a photographer, and they made a really good point And it's kind of why we see January hit pretty hard for people that have done the work, which is a lot of listings expire in January. So the reason for that is when you list a house with a realtor, usually it's a 6-month term. You agree to sell with them and you're kind of stuck as the seller for 6 months with them. And they do that in the middle of summer. And so a lot of those listings expire in December. And so a lot of agents will go hard on calling those listings. And that's why you see like a big influx of listings in early January, which is cool. And so just something to keep in mind. Should we do some wins first before we jump in too much, Rod? Or what do you...
It's been a full week since I've seen their wins, so I got to see them. Y'all comment your wins from the last week. We had Todd on last week. That was fun. We got to talk bad about you the whole time. Man, it was fun. Just the whole time. He was ragging on you the whole time, dude. I was like, dude, Todd, slow down. You know how he gets, you know.
Of course. Of course.
Rod, come on now. I mean, that's a win and a half if I ever heard one. Oh, we double clicked it.
Double-clicked it.
Yes, Ron.
What's the deal with it, Ron? Is it they're just going to share your name? Was there some like tell me about how it happened. Share it.
Zach, you were talking about having one. I remember in the comments asking for some help and advice with it. So how'd it feel? How'd it go? Maybe you'll be like Ron and next week comment, you just got your first brokerage. The cycle continues.
Good for you for doing it though, Zach, for real. I mean, still, I act like I only got scared in the past. If I had to go do a brokerage presentation, I still am like a little uneasy with it. And so I think that's one of those things that it's just never, like you're always a little nervous, but it just works so well. Scored my first big shot client who sells 50 plus listings a year. All right, we got to do some math.
That's kind of crazy.
What's your average order values I hear? Do you know what it is off the top of your head? I'll just estimate if not. Oh, no way, Ron. I don't even know how to do the math on that one. I mean, that's got to be probably, if they're decently average agents, well, really, even if not, you're going to have some top performers, you're going to have some bottom agents. That could be over 100 grand a year, I would think, Ron. I mean, the average client from what we see, I'll do the math, 150 times 100, usually $150 a month per client, whether they book you or not, is what we see. So yeah, I mean, that could be 15 grand a month. If not more. So that's crazy.
This is their first time on the live. Welcome in.
Welcome in.
On to the next. I like that name, actually. That's a cool name.
$200 Zahir said. Okay, first of all, Zahir, you need to get that up a little bit, but that's a different story. But $200 times, what was it, 100 or 50 shoots a year?
It's 50 shoots a year.
10 grand a year in that client right there.
Nice deal right there. So 10 grand deal right there. Good job.
Zach said it went really well. Last night, stayed up late preparing and baking treats. I've got at least one agent that messaged me. Nice, Zach. That's amazing.
Very nice.
Keep on them. Follow up with everybody you can. Don't feel like one follow-up's all you got to do. If you follow up and they don't respond, just be like, hey, it's been a couple weeks. Just want to shoot you a message. Would love to work. Like, keep on with them.
This one's cool. Just got fantastic feedback from a cold call I was nervous to make.
Nice.
It's one step in the right direction. There we go.
Let's see.
What's Joe saying here?
Just scored with a rental Airbnb agency that said their former photographer would take 5 days to get photos back. Nice, Joe. Those Airbnb agencies are great too because they have a lot of churn usually, which is good for you because they have new properties coming all the time. That's awesome.
They must be editing their own photos or backed up or something, I guess. But at this time of year, being 5 days, this time, I don't know.
That's like a legacy photographer. They just do that sometimes. It's like, when you book a wedding photographer and they're like, oh, I'll have the photos back to you in 4 weeks. And it's like, it literally takes just a day to edit them for most people. It's just like they get used to that schedule. It's really weird.
Oh, hiring your second photographer means growth is going well, it sounds.
Nice.
Oh, Mike. What's up, Mike? Got a free shoot for Monday to open house visits. Okay, there you go. DM starting to get responses. There you go. They got a pulse on them. They start coming out the bushes in January, don't they?
It literally is every year is my favorite time of year. December is my least favorite month, but in both Norman and Young, because that's our slowest month, but also coaching. It's like people just don't feel it in December, and you have to really keep people doing the work because those who do the work in December, they love it in January. And so we're starting. It's funny because you can kind of judge it by people's smiles in the group calls inside of coaching. December, I have to bring my A game to keep people motivated. Yeah. And then January, it's like I get on the call and they're all like, just waiting.
I look at the wins every day to post them, right? And
the volume of it picks up in January.
It's a ton. I mean, I'll go there and there's just a ton new all the time. Like I don't have enough. There's too many to take pictures of and post at this point. So it's like they start kicking up now and just wait till February, March hits too, right? Here's a good question.
Leader here at Keller Williams, how to offer, ask for a presentation. I mean, just, it's really common for vendors to present at brokerages. So I would just say something of like, hey, do you guys have like a breakfast presentation schedule where vendors come in and share a little bit about their services? If so, is that something that I could get on? Like, I would just ask it as simple as that. The thing with booking a brokerage presentation, and by the way, for anybody listening, I don't recommend brokerage presentations until you're doing like $5,000 a month. That's kind of when we bring them in coaching, because they're really not very effective if nobody at the brokerage uses you yet. You really want some social proof from like a couple of those agents using you. Otherwise, you'll go and like you could just get skunked pretty easily and do a presentation and get no clients, and that sucks. But when you're at that point, the nice thing about brokerage presentations, apart from the fact that you have to stand up and talk in front of 5, 10, 20, 30 agents, which isn't great for most people. I don't love that, at least. The nice part, though, is they're really easy to book. You don't have to like sell the booking. You just call. You can cold call the brokerage's front line. Even if you have clients that are there, you could ask them. But sometimes it's easier just to call the front and be like, hey, do you guys have a breakfast presentation schedule where vendors come in? They're like, yeah, let me transfer you to. And it's literally, I had a video for a while in the training. I refilmed it since then, but I actually made some calls live. And it was like 3 out of 4 of them immediately booked, and we're like, yeah, I can get you on the schedule. And the 4th one we ended up booking later. They just had to transfer me to someone who I left a voicemail to. So it's not like a hard thing to get a brokerage presentation. It just doesn't really make sense until you're doing like $5,000 a month. Typically, if someone invites you, it's a different story. Like if you have a client there who's like, hey, I'd love you to come present, we're just looking for that client to be like, yeah, Jake's amazing. I've worked with him for a couple of shoots now. You should give him a try. Cause like that client saying that does more than you could ever say from the front of the room. Just like how we all look at reviews of stuff, it's really important to us because we want some guarantee that we're not dealing with someone that's going to, mess up with what we're trying to do. And so, that social proof makes a big difference. Let's see. Also scored a drone shot with another brokerage. Due to the DJI ban, only my expensive drones work. Okay, first of all, that is an abject lie, dog. That's 100% not true because all the old DJI drones still work. Just you can't get new ones. Oh my goodness, and not even new. You can buy a new one still. They just can't release future models to the U.S. market unless things change, which is very funny. So someone's got to be out there lying, Been pretty slow, but 4 shoots today. Nice. Yeah, the year's starting to hit. It's always mid-January.
Someone was saying the other day they only have 3 this week, and then boom, they have 6 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Indiana up 135% from last year this time. Well done.
Nice. More than double.
There's too many wins to put on here.
It's that time of year. It's ramping back. Yeah, that is pretty funny. Lenzo said, photographed my smallest property ever today. Well, now I have to know, how big was it? I missed shop. Okay, here.
Great.
Sorry.
No, yeah, you're good. You're
good. You win. You put it up for.
Fine. Joe's also got a good question. My current struggle is I work a full-time job. Any advice for doing it and doing rep full-time? Yeah. When do you know it's time to make the jump? Appreciate you both. Appreciate you. What do you think on that, Eli?
I would say the most important first step, Joe, would be to do the math and see how much money you need to replace your job. If you give me a little bit more about, you said full-time, so I'm going to assume 9 to 5, but if it's different, let me know. And, especially if it's flexible, I think that gives you a lot of extra ability. Most of the people that we work with have a 9 to 5 job. So don't think because you have that, it's not going to be possible. It starts with being really honest about how much money you need to quit. And so, if you look at your income now, I don't know what your income is. You don't have to say it on here. I know it's in a public place, but let's say you make, $6,000 a month or $5,000, like whatever your income is. Let's say $5,000 a month because the math is easier on that. You, in my opinion, it's smart to start with how many shoots do I need to do to replace that $5,000 income, right? And so typically we want to see an average order value of 275-ish or more, depending on the market you're in. I'm going to use 275 just to make the math. I don't want to like make it look too good and you're going to end up having to work harder.
It's good to be pessimistically safe. Yeah. I always say on that number.
And then let's also say you want to take home $5,000 and it's going to be like an 80% profit if you run things properly with 20% in expense. Now that will change as you hire a team, but you're not going to hire a team until you're full time, so it doesn't matter. So let's say we want you to make 6,500 like top line revenue in order to give yourself a little bit of money to pay taxes, an appropriate amount to pay taxes, and then an appropriate amount to pay fees. So we need to do 6,500 in revenue to take home 5K, hypothetically, let's say, give or take your actual numbers. And, if you spend like a wild animal, I can't help you with that. So that's on you. But it's usually hard to spend like a wild animal in your business because there's not as many emotional purchases. Like I think it's easier to be financially thoughtful with business expenses than it is with personal expenses. It's like a personal expense, right? It's like you want to buy a new phone or something. It's like you don't need it. But in your business, you're less likely to like, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to pay the editor more. It's okay. Like you don't do that, right? So it's pretty easy to keep things dialed down. So, okay, 6,500 and we'll do divided by 275. So we need to do in this scenario to make 6,500 bucks, we need to do 23 shoots a month. So let's say you did 4 shoots every Saturday, right? There's 4.25 Saturdays in a given month, technically. So 4.25 times 4. There's 17 shoots done just on Saturday of the 23 you need to do. And so my big picture advice is I don't recommend quitting your job until you've made enough money in your business to equal your income. That's like the safest of all approaches, right? Because you're not going like, oh, I'm going to quit my job and then hope it works out. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Some people need that, but I just don't think that added pressure is usually that helpful for most people. But the other cool thing about that is you've also had a dual income for the couple months while you're building that up, right? Or however long it took you. And so unless you went wild animal in your personal spending, which people do, to be fair, because you're working harder, you justify more meals out, you do your thing, whatever. Ideally, though, you've saved up a little bit more. So now you're quitting your job with the same amount of money you made from your job in income coming in, a growing business and more savings than you had before. That's like the roadmap that I would recommend. And that's what we push people to do, right? Is to be thoughtful about it. Now, there are a group of people that like the pressure. I say they're a group of people because I'm not in that group. I don't like that kind of pressure. But there are a group of people who like the pressure of, burning the boat, so to speak, as that phrase goes, and like putting your back against a wall and making it happen. Usually, though, those people also have a little bit of savings. So it's not like we all have to pay bills. So you got to be really practical. And I know, Joe, some of this might not apply to your situation, but a lot of the people here are probably weighing that. They're like, how do I do this full time? And I think it's a huge mistake to do 2 things. 1, to quit too early, and 2, to wait until you, have a better situation to start the business. Like people are like, oh, I got to wait till I can save up enough to quit my job first. Like, don't do that. I think it's just so much more risky. Like start testing the water on your own. Because like we showed, 17 of those 23 shoots could be done on just Saturday. If you want to work Sunday, you have that available. If you want to squeeze, 1 shoot a weekend after work each week, you'll hit the number right there. And that's assuming a 275 average order value. And it's also assuming like, let's say your business is making $5,000 a month. You went from 2 to 4 to 5. It's like, are you really going to wait to 65? Probably not, because you see the momentum. You've been saving up a little bit more. You'll probably take the jump sooner. But I just I don't know. Maybe that's a personal thing. I don't think. Well, let me say it this way, which I can tell you for sure. I do not perform well with financial pressure. Therefore, I'm not going to recommend someone else put themselves in financial pressure to perform well. I think if you're in a place where you're like, don't know how you're going to pay your bills, it's so hard to be thoughtful about the business. And so that's why I think working double is there's going to be a sacrifice when you start your business, right? You can't get out of the sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice something. And it's probably going to be a little bit of financial pressure and a little bit more work than you're used to for a payoff that's what you want, right? But something's going to give. Just be thoughtful about which one you choose based upon your personality, I think. Sorry, I went off on a little bit of a monologue there.
But it was 2 questions answered kind of there, because Warner also asked, I'm thinking of getting started working full-time Monday through Thursday, though. Do you think 3 days a week would be enough to start us to Warner? Everything Eli did. If you didn't hear what Eli just said, he can repeat it all again word for word from the top, Eli, from the top. But no, Warner, yeah, absolutely. Like we have people that that can only shoot on Saturdays, and then the concern will be, well, don't some agents not want to do that? And it's exactly right. Some agents won't want to do that, and that's okay. You don't need them all. You need a little bit to get you to the next point, and then once you get out of your job, then it just explodes. So It's about chipping away. Like we had Brian Badillo, I would never forget, who had 3 jobs, chipped away at him, hit 30 grand a month. I'll never forget that story. So there's a strategy, and
2 part-times, right?
It was 2. Oh, I should remember. Yeah, it was 1 full-time, 2 part-times. Yeah. No, that was a quick quiz question we had a while ago. That's right. Yeah, but no, yeah, you absolutely can do it. If there's will, there's a way. If your why is big enough, if you got the right help too, we'll get you to that. So,
well, Warner, objectively, I think you have a better situation schedule-wise. I can't speak to anything else. I know
having Fridays nice.
Yeah, that's better than most, I would say, that we get to work with.
You could wreak havoc on just Friday alone.
If you think about it, like, and this is something that I don't know, I see a lot of people say, and to me, it's kind of sad because like I get to see both sides of it. A lot of people think they'll be like, "Oh, I have a full-time job, I can't do this," and it's like most people who do this, like we all have to work, right? I mean, unless you're whenever my dad, when I was younger, would want me to do something, I would ask him for jobs to be paid. And sometimes he would have a job for me and I didn't want to do it. He goes, well, what are you, independently wealthy? It's got to be from something. I don't know. But either way, I think, all of us, unless you're independently wealthy, you have to work. And so I think that's just, you think about it this way, like building a business is really just like solving problems for other people. And that doesn't mean you're solving new problems all the time. Part of it is that, but like part of it is just figuring out how to solve a problem that everybody has. And so like, with a real estate agent, right? They all want good media. They all do not want to go through all the little things you're going to have to go through. They don't want to figure out which camera to use. They don't want to figure out camera settings. They don't want to buy a program like our coaching that teaches them how to do that. They're like, I'll just hire someone to do that. And so like your business is literally solving problems. And so if you think about it that way, when you're first starting your business, there is a set of problems you have to solve before you ever get paid. But those problems are very much a part of building your business, right? It's like, okay, what are those problems? Well, we have to figure out how to work on my schedule. Boom, solved it. We have to figure out how to, some people say, I can't start. I got to save up money to get a camera. And it's like, don't think of it that way. You are starting. The first problem is saving up money to get the camera, right? And that's just like what it is with business. And I know that, at the start, if someone would have told me that, I'd be like, I don't want to solve problems. But it's like, you're going to either get paid at a job to solve problems for somebody else, or you're going to solve problems for yourself. There's problems with both, right? And I think we got to frame problem in like the positive word. It's like when someone has a problem, that's an opportunity for you. And real estate agents happen to have a lot of problems with media, which is amazing, right? Because then we can solve those problems for them. The other thing though, it's not just that they have a lot of problems with media. There is literally like 1 billion, that's not an actual number, but there are so many real estate agents, right? And so we have a great business, all of us in real estate media, because there's freaking too many real estate agents, to be completely honest with you. It's ridiculous.
It could be 1 billion these days. I mean, 1/7 of the world.
No, there is 1 million in the United States. It's like 2 million licensed agents or something. I don't know if you said 1 billion or a million.
I said 1 billion. You're like, there is.
There is some, I don't know if it was, I don't know what city it was, but it was like, and maybe it kind of is the average. I don't know. It's the average, Rod. It is if there's 1 million. No, it's a little less. If there's 2. But anyway, some cities, 1 out of every 100 people is a real estate agent. I'm like, come on. That's too many real estate agents. All right. Anyway. All right. I don't even know where we were on that one, but Rod will find another one to set me off here in a second.
Hold on.
It's a new year. We got to be excited about it, Rod. You know what I'm saying?
God, that's a great question. If you had to do it all over again in 2026, would you do it the same way and still tackle the real estate media business?
Yeah. I mean, if I had no money and if I didn't have, a lot of the stuff I've learned now, would I still tackle a real estate media business? If I had to be completely honest, I've had a real estate media business for 12 years and I spent a lot of time building my wealth during that time. And so if I lost my businesses, I would still have my money and I would use that for something that's probably higher leverage. But you have to look at things in sequence. So if I went back to Eli when I was first starting, let's say you have a $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month job and, not a lot of money, absolutely I would do it. I think it's a great way to build a business and it's fun. And man, I'm grateful for it. I learned a ton. I still own my business, obviously, right? It's just like part of building a business, you continue to look for more leverage opportunities. So for me, I'd focus more on investing and that kind of stuff. But you can't invest until you have money to invest, right? And so, yeah, I appreciate the question and I want to answer it honestly. So yeah, if I lost everything, absolutely.
Here's a cool win. Got my first meeting with a realtor tomorrow who has 15 others who report up to her. Fingers crossed for a meeting with the whole team soon. Very nice.
Very nice.
Media Solutions. Quote of the call. Mike's got the quote of the call here.
Like wild. I don't know if I said that and then I was like, I don't know if wild animals really spend like a lot of money, but
they do. You know, those wild mongooses, you know, they'll spend.
The raccoon on TikTok with the gold chain. It's like that guy, you know.
How to get clients starting out with a small portfolio, which is like, man, y'all got to be on it now with busy season approaching. It's like, I always think this time of year, it's either you're getting clients or you're starting to get clients or your competitors around you are. So it's like, this is good for you to ask this and start working on this. You know, client acquisition is the thing to start doing right now with precision. So,
I mean,
what'd you do, Eli?
As far as the portfolio question, the nice thing with real estate photography is you don't need a massive portfolio. You just need to show agents that you can shoot what they're expecting. And so honestly, even like 1 or 2 houses is totally good enough. And they don't have to be, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking they need some ultra luxury house for their portfolio, but that's actually a negative thing if you only have that. Because a lot of times agents will see it and be like, oh, they must only shoot luxury. They must be overpriced or something, or they just serve that expensive luxury market. So to me, just a regular house, 1 or 2 of them, and it doesn't even have to be a full shoot. It can be just some photos from each, maybe 15 photos total is all you really need. That's kind of when we work with someone in coaching, we set up their Instagram account to kind of be like their portfolio. And there's just a few photos on there. So as far as where to get those, I mean, you live somewhere, right? So maybe you're like, oh, I just live in a small apartment. Perfect. Shoot it. That's all you need. You probably have a friend or family that lives somewhere. If not, you can go to an open house. Ask if you can practice. You might get some no's. You'll definitely get a yes eventually. If you have a model home community near you, you can do that. Worst case, you can rent an Airbnb for a night. The nice thing with real estate media is like you don't need a big portfolio, but also to get that little portfolio that you need is super easy because there's houses and buildings everywhere. It's not like you have to do a fake staged wedding shoot. Like that'd be a harder sell. Be like, hey, can you put on your wedding dress for me and like pose in a wherever you get married? Like that's kind of a harder thing. And so yeah, don't overcomplicate the portfolio side of things for sure.
And then what will they do with that portfolio to start getting the clients once the portfolio is made? Just to segue into that.
Yeah, so just for like the general flow of things. So we'll help someone get their portfolio, those initial shoots. We'll help them build out their Instagram. We'll connect their Instagram to a shopping cart where the clients can see their pricing and order forms. So that's the next thing we would do with you if you're in coaching. And the next thing after that would be like, hey, once we have this business presentable and you look like, you don't have to look like an established 10-year business, but you also don't want to look like an amateur. So once we sort of help you professionalize your business, this is in the first couple of weeks of coaching, then we move on to outreach. So that's not saying you have to be in coaching to be successful. It's not true. We just help people do it fast and with less mistakes. That's what coaching is, right? So, but you want to follow the same order, whether you're in coaching or not. And so after you get that in place, that's when you'd start doing the Instagram method or doing cold calls. Usually people start with the Instagram method. That's how we start in coaching. And then you can add on outbound method calls to sort of supercharge your success. And the cool thing is you're not selling anything. You're like calling agents and offering them a free first shoot. And you could just do the Instagram method too if you're like absolutely petrified of cold calls. But I would probably challenge you to do it anyway because nobody loves them. Everybody's scared of them. But there's so much money to be made if you just do them right, and I think facing your fears, they're fears, so they're scary to face, but it's like a really good thing. I wish I would have done more cold calls when I started.
It's a great question. When you talked about setting 2026 goals in your recent live, talked about number of new clients. What would you say counts as a new client? A completed shoot, a book shoot, a response to an IG message with interest?
Yeah, we considered a completed shoot. So you did a shoot for a client is when we would consider it. I don't think that so much matters as long as you measure it the same way every time. I mean, I wouldn't count an Instagram message. We count those as a separate thing. It's interested parties is what it would look like in coaching, there's a tracker that basically you put in everybody. And when they reach different stages of interest, they move to a different section. And there's a section called interested. And that's where they would stay, but they're not a client yet. They're just simply interested. And that you actually need to follow up more with them to get them to become a client.
You should be aiming for how many new clients per month?
Oh, I didn't even answer that.
No, I mean
15 when you're first starting. 15 is fast. Like if you get 15 clients every month, which is
and we'll see people do that too, which is wild to me that they'll get 15.
Yeah. It's not a fast in the sense of like hard to necessarily do the 15. Like that's a reasonable goal. The payoff is fast. Like, because if you think about it, I kind of showed the math, but on average, someone will make around $100 to $150, sometimes $200 per client per month, whether they book with you or not. This is the average over a year. Some agents are going to book with you twice a month, 3 times a month, sometimes more. Some are going to book with you once a year. The average, let's just call it in this case, $150 a month. So like if you have $150 a month times 150 clients, oh shoot, hold on. times 15 clients, not 150 clients. It's a little too fast of a growth rate.
I was like,
that's 2250 a month. But the cool thing is if you keep getting 15 clients a month, that's 2250 again. Then the next, yeah, that's right math. The next month is 4,500 plus 2250, 6,700. You very rapidly in a period of a few months get to a point where you're like, whoa, I can't do it anymore myself. I need to hire somebody, or I need to raise my prices and like cut off some of my clients, depending on if you want to scale or go the optimized solo route. So I think 15 clients a month, and anybody who's in here who has a real estate media business, that, that's fast growth. Like 15 clients, you're smiling pretty good. And
that's
then some
the
days
you're like,
yeah. Did you ask something? I missed it if you did.
No.
Oh.
I was looking at there's a lot of comments, a lot of good. Y'all are active today. I'm loving it. Let's see here.
Good group in here today too. There's a lot of people. It's more fun when there's a lot, because there's a lot of questions.
I don't even know which ones to pick. Y'all re-put your questions in the comments just so I know y'all are still here and I don't want to miss any.
You got a fresh one.
That's cool. And how do you tailor what you guys are doing in the U.S. with other parts of the world like Greece?
Yeah, good question.
What do y'all see back there when you like look at other places outside of the U.S. and over here?
Yeah, I think there's two sides of it we look at. So one side is like the tech and business systems. A lot of that adjusts to different markets, different languages, and different currencies. So that'd be like the first one, is just figuring that up. The other thing would be how the listing market works. Greece, I don't know off the top of my head, but a lot of the countries in Europe have different systems where it's exclusive listings, not exclusive listings, done with teams. And so that's the beauty of coaching, is it's not just like, hey, here's a course, good luck. It's like, we do this with you. And so we help you adjust those things to your market. That's pricing. Sometimes it's strategy. Some countries will go more for vacation homes versus, homes that people are going to occupy as their primary. We just adjust it. And I think that's one of the benefits.
That is so true. And why it's been so helpful, not just doing a course, but us actually having coaching lately, not to just keep plugging coaching, but it's like on my mind now, but it just has to be tailored. So, but yeah, like it's some places, like you said, are more, out here, it could be more, you find agents, you get enough agents, and then you catch the brokerage and the team's attention. Out in other places, it might be, you go for the team first and do it the other way around. It could be so different in how they go about things that it's got to be tailored. So that's also our fear on these lives sometimes too, because when we give y'all advice to one person and you're also in here listening, it might not necessarily pertain to you. So when y'all listen to these lives, we love the advice that we give, but also keep that in mind too, that like our fear is giving someone advice and someone implementing that in their situation and it not matching. And then y'all like, first, looking at us like, oh no, we said the wrong thing to y'all, but also like more importantly, like that could harm your business, not helping your business, and what long-term effects they're there. So y'all just keep that in mind with our answers, that it isn't just like a one size fits all thing, and just be conscious of that. If you're in coaching, make sure with your coach first. And if you're not in coaching, come on in, the water's warm. What are you waiting for? Let's go. So, but I just want to put that out there too, before we answer questions, because it just can't apply to all. So that's just our fear sometimes, y'all. So y'all be careful on that side.
The good news is the water's warmer now than it was in December. So.
Oh my goodness. No kidding. Well, actually, no, well, if we're talking about actual weather here, it is cold and I do not like it.
It's quite cold across the U.S. I will confess, I'm in the tip of South Florida right now, and it's quite warm here, but where my house is not warm in Texas. So anyway, let's see. Pick another one, Mr. Rod. You're the question picker today.
Any recommendations for a systematized method to follow up with past clients, especially as things pick up this month and into busy season?
Yeah, I mean, Colton, here's the interesting thing with real estate media, and you know this being in the business. You don't really need to do as much follow-up as you would with another business with existing clients, because they really just talk to you when they have a shoot. So them not hearing from you, it doesn't really reduce the likelihood that they won't use you again, if that makes sense, or it doesn't reduce the likelihood that they will use you again. That being said, the really important ones to check in with are sort of like the top 10% of your client base. And so if you already have a client base, go pull a report, see who paid you, and rank them by who paid you the most, and then go down that list over a time period. And the clients that are, the top 10% of that list, I would consider them VIP clients. If you use software like Spiro, which is what we recommend, there's actually like a VIP switch you can turn on, so you can always pay attention to who the VIPs are. But with those clients, I check in with them more often. And the reason for that is because we do more shoots with them. So my check-ins are basically like, hey, how have the shoots been? Everything been good? Anything you want done differently? And so we focus that check-in energy on our highest level clients. And you can get fancy and use a CRM and put in check-in dates and stuff like that. I think a lot of that's a waste of time, especially if you have a good VIP program. Let's see. What else you got, Rod?
I'm tabling.
Oh,
I might not know what that word is. I'm tabling at an.
He or she has a table at an investor expo.
Oh, I'm tabling. What in tarnation is this? I'm tabling. I'm so stupid. And I'm tabling at an investor expo. Is this a good idea to reach out to investors, or should I focus on brokers and realtors? I'm not reading anymore on here. I'm done.
I would recommend going with brokers and realtors. Investors are all right. You know, we get them sometimes. A lot of times they're fix and flips. If you're talking about that kind, they don't want to spend a lot on media. Really should be their realtor spending the money anyway, because if they're hiring a realtor to list the property, usually that realtors will use their media person. So, I mean, if you're there, sure, make some connections. I would just more use that as a chance to like ask, you know, who are the good realtors? And then, you know, let's say investor John says, hey, you know, the real good realtors are Steve and Jake. Then you can call Steve and Jake and be like, hey, I was at this event talking to John. He said you were a great realtor that I should know. And I just wanted to reach out. So you're like, you can use the investor for like a connection that's a somewhat warm connection, if that makes sense. I want to go all in, but I think fear of the unknown is keeping me from it. I have gear, but no experience editing or shooting houses. Yeah, Warner, I mean, you know, here's the good news and the bad news. You know, the good news is that everybody, well, there's two good news. I have two good news for you and one bad news.
Look what he also said at follow up on this too. Like he's got the foot in with the real estate company already that his wife is in the transaction coordinator for. You got that in, Warner.
The good news is everybody has the fear, right? So that's normal. What I would say is I would reframe what going all in means. Like, I don't know. To me, when I hear that, that makes me nervous. And I'm like, what is like going all in on everything sounds scary. It's like, you know, literally the concept is you're betting everything. I don't think you have to bet everything to do this business, right? And so you have the gear. Just keep taking the next step. Don't think of this as like, I have to do an all in thing. Like, just do a shoot, see how it goes. You know, you have, I forget the connection, wife, realtor, something. Use that to get one shoot. Do a practice shoot of your own place first. Test auto HDR. Rod, if you
don't do your own editing. That's a huge learning curve, and you got to get software for that. It's actually it is better just to outsource it, whether to human editors or AI these days. Well, the robots and flying cars everyone has these days. You know what I'm saying?
It is. Even the human editors are using AI now. So
that's very true. They're innovating.
AutoHDR.com/rep.
Let me grab it.
Week of editing. Oh yeah, Rod will drop it in there for you with his fancy clickable link. Try it out. So, you know, you could like watch my YouTube videos on how to shoot a house. Literally just do that. Sure, there's stuff that's not, you know, there's more that you have to learn. And of course, we keep that stuff in our coaching program because that's how it works. But I try to put out value on YouTube. But anyway, do what I say on YouTube, send it to Auto HDR, and you're probably gonna be like, oh, these are way better than I thought they were. And then you're one step closer, you know.
That's a good point. You know, take micro wins, micro steps, or not even micro, just steps.
Steps, yeah. Towards. I don't think you have to do like this huge, oh, I'm going to do it. And I appreciate the honesty and like saying that, right? The fear of the unknown. And that's true for everybody. And it's just less unknown if you try to think about doing everything right now. It's like, just do the next little step is all you can do.
What helps me too, Warner, and I don't want to get too fluffy on y'all, but it's fear shifting. I focus my fear in a different direction. And like, there's the fear of jumping in. We'll shift the fear to, you know, really looking at the fear of not jumping in. What happens long-term if I don't, you know, and once that feeling of that fear overpowers the fear of jumping, that's usually when, you know, that moment in your, you know, when you want something in life and you kind of, you got that trepidation, but you got that like kind of like fear with it and kind of hesitation there a little bit. And then there's that moment where you're just like, you know what, let's do it. And you can kind of feel that shift in your body. That is the fear shifting. It's the, you know what, me not doing it is way worse than me doing it. You know, it's like when you go on a roller coaster as a kid and the parents would say, you're going to regret not doing it. And then sometimes I hate heights. So that was not true. Actually, I'm glad I didn't do them. But, that fear of regret sometimes makes us do so. It's just like, just watching others get success in this industry. This industry has changed so many lives. Why not you? Why don't you deserve that? And shifting that fear to not getting that when you could should be way more overpowering than the fear of jumping into this business. So have at it. Come on in. The water is warm, remember, and it's warming up. It's almost
February. You said
February.
about the regret thing too. Again, I can speak for some other people that I know have said this to me, but like, I think all of us feel this, right? I can definitely speak for myself on this. Once you do something, you're like, damn it, why did I not do that earlier?
Yeah.
It's like the universal reaction. And so the good news is, and I know we're spending some time on this question, and Rod, you said you were going to give a fluffy answer. I used to be like as close to allergic to anything mindset as you possibly could when I was first starting my business, like sneezing the whole 9 yards whenever someone did that. I just stayed away from it, truthfully. And on a serious note, I think that cost me a ton, because I think if I look back on the different stages of my business and starting Norman and Young, before it was even Norman and Young, just Eli Jones Photography, right? Because Norman and Young's my middle name, my brother's middle name. We started working together. I played so small and I just moved so slowly because I didn't have the right mentality to how I should be approaching the business. And so I think there's what I always thought I needed was a ton of tactics. And so anytime someone would talk about like, what are your thoughts around this? I'd be like, I don't know. I just need to know what to do. And it was like, that was so not true. I think the mindset things are oftentimes the most tactical. And so that's why we like to spend a lot of time on it. Here on the lives in coaching, you have to balance it with tactical. You need to know all the tactics, right? So that's why the first 4 weeks of coaching are literally just the boot camp phase of learning everything. You have to learn that. But you also, like, once you have those tools, you have to know how to use those tools, because, use a tool reference, right? There are people that make a ton of money with a hammer and people that make very little money with the same tool. And what's the difference? It's like, well, it's the industry they pursued or the way they approached it or how they priced themselves or how they did this. And so, I just think that kind of, I probably I read a lot of books, right? Or listen to, I can't, for whatever reason, I struggle to actually sit there and read. I think I'm just too impatient, but I listen to a lot of audiobooks and I balance them pretty good. I have a lot of books that are very tactical. Read a book recently called Onboarding Matters Again. It's very boring, tactical book about how you onboard a client. A lot of takeaways for REPP, a lot of takeaways for Norman and Young, stuff I shared in our coaching community. They're very tactical, right? And then I'll also read books about other stuff that are more like mindset oriented, or how people thought about building their businesses, or that approach. I think that really matters, kind of balancing it. And so I would just don't be allergic to it like I was. It cost me a lot. I would have had a much bigger business much more quickly if I leaned into it. Rod, let's hit one more question for today.
Well, this one's good because it kind of ends with the topic today. Is what are the most important things that I can do as a smaller business gearing up to grow a lot during business season? Like, what can everyone start doing right now besides buying coaching and engine? Of course, that's the obvious, but in their business, what can they be starting to do right now to gear up, like Zane is asking? It's a great question.
To give you one thing, I would start with sort of mapping out what you want that to look like. So getting to the numbers, right? You want to grow a lot. What does that mean? Like, what do you want to see for your July, your August, your September, your October revenue? And then I would reverse engineer kind of the math, and reverse engineer, we're not reverse engineering a rocket here. It's pretty simple. So, you want to make 10K in October a month and you're making 4K a month now. You need to gain 6K a month recurring. How many clients do you need to do that? And, if it's $150 a month per client, that's 6K divided by 100. It's like 40 clients you need to get, or roughly. That math was completely off the top of my head, but it should be close enough. So it's like, okay, if I know I need to get 40 clients before October and I have not 8 months till October, I don't know how far out it is, 10 months till October, you need to gain 4 clients a month, right? And so that shows you how fast you can grow, because 4 clients a month is pretty easy. But the concrete thing I want you to get to is how many new clients per month you need to be getting. And that should be the most important metric in your business every month. Revenue is in the past. If you made 10K this month, it already happened. It's done, right? It's like the future thing is the more important thing. So I think 4 clients a month is a pretty lame target, to be honest. But if that's your target, I gave it to you, so it's my fault. 15 clients a month. And the good news is, if you're getting it's January 15th, right? Like, let's say you have 10 clients, your goal is 15, and it's January 28th. Guess who needs to cold call agents all day, or call agents you already know, or do Instagram method? Like, it gives you a target. So I think the biggest thing you can do is, you said you wanted to grow bigger, is set a target and then know the math to hit the target. And that's how I'd look at your year, because business is just a math problem. That's a simple math problem, thankfully, because I don't really like complicated math.
And really pound client acquisition. Like Eli says, have a goal and what you need to hit, because if you're just kind of out there, it's going to be it's not going to be as clear, and it's going to be kind of like your goals are going to be kind of fuzzy, I guess is the best way I can explain it. But if you have a goal, exactly the number you need to hit, then go hit client acquisition, and don't skimp on client acquisition. Sometimes people get busy and then client acquisition takes the back seat. That should be like ingrained into your daily operations, is getting clients. How am I going to get more clients? Asking that every day. And then I wanted to answer that question too, as well, for E. Johnson. We did actually recently update this too, to be where anyone can get Engine now, E. Johnson. Just so you understand why we did it that way, is because if we just go get people clients to their business and their business isn't optimized or at a certain point, or if anything's missing, or if they're not doing everything a certain way, then those clients won't turn into the amount of money that it needs to, and it won't turn into the amount of clients, right? So what do you say?
They leave.
Yeah, they leave. Like, long story short, if we get y'all clients, we want them to stay and refer you like crazy. And sometimes, and it's not to say your business wasn't set up exactly right or anything like that. It's just by default, our fear was that if someone's business isn't optimized and we throw a bunch of gasoline on it, it's going to be a non-controlled fire, and it's not going to do them good, and they're going to waste their money. So we need to make sure that if we're going to get clients, it's got to be into a process that we trust, that we know will turn into referrals, and that we know will turn into a repeat customers, and that we know that person can properly upsell at the shoot. Like, we get free shoots, but our goal is to get upsells at that shoot and to upsell properly. So there's a lot that goes on into making that shoot become fruitful. So that's why we did it like that. But now we have a process to help people, and we figured that out. So long story short, it is open to anyone now. So if you spoke to anyone on our team originally and they went over it with you and mentioned that it's not for people in coaching, we did just update that like yesterday, and that we're going to make it work for everybody and just help them with those things.
Yeah, we'll check. I mean, if you talk to somebody in the past, that's just a protocol that we changed recently. And, on the quote unquote selfish side, I think reputation is the most important thing you can do in business. And if I have someone go through Engine and they're like, man, it was awesome, and then another person go, it sucked, but nobody knows that the reason this person said that it sucked was because their business didn't convert those clients or keep them going, like, that's a problem I can solve. I can focus on the clients I know are going to convert. And so it goes to both ways, right? I don't want you to feel like you got to rip off either, like you got ripped off. So that's not my goal. So the way we do it now, just to be completely transparent, is like Rod said, we are going to look at your business during that onboarding period of Engine. And so if things aren't set up in a way where we think it'll help them convert, we'll just show you what we'd recommend changing. Because our goal is to make sure that you get, we
want people to trust those changes too. That can be tough too. If someone's like, no, I've done it this way the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just trust those changes we'll make, as we know it'll help. But E. Johnson, if you can, book another call. Let me know what your name is on file, if you're comfortable putting your name, first name and last name here.
Or you can just text who you talk to, or or on a call.
If they probably text you about this live potentially even, but if you know who you spoke to, just text them back if you're not sure who that is.
And for everyone who has no idea what we're talking about,
I'm stumped. I don't even know what to do then. Just comment here below if you don't know who you talk to, and we'll get you in.
For everybody who has no idea what we're talking about too, this is REPP Engine. So this is a cold calling service that we offer. We have a team of appointment setters who can make cold calls to realtors on your behalf and book them in your calendar. And it's not, you don't pay for our time, you pay for the results we get you. So it's fully on us to get those clients for you. Transparently, if you're like just starting, I would highly recommend going for coaching first. Engine is fuel on the fire, like Rod said. It's not, you don't just pour gas on the ground. You got to light it, right? And so just to orient you to the services we have, Engine is fuel on the fire. It is us doing a service for you instead of coaching, which is us helping you build your business in the first place. So either way, to check out either of those, Rod, would you post a link to that?
To Engine?
Or no, let's put both. We'll do the link to coaching, which is replaunch.com/apply. I think everybody here probably has heard that link a time or two.
I'll grab that for you too, but the
link will be separate. So
the apply page I'll put here now. This is the apply page is if you have not spoken to us about our coaching program. Book in. Our sales team is incredible here. We don't have it where people are pushy here. If anything, we're probably not as pushy as we should be, to be fair. Like we'll have you look at coaching, we'll go over how it works with you, show exactly how it would work for you, because it is very tailored to your situation and everything. And then you'll be able to comfortably decide if that's for you. If you're ready to jump in, great. If you need some time before you jump in, great. Either way, we're there for you for when you are ready. So book in with the team and chat with us if you haven't yet. If you have spoken to our team, just reach back out to the person you originally spoke to. They might have texted you about the live tonight. Just reach back out to them and let them know, hey, I want to get creative. I want to jump in. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, this is the best time to do it, but we're getting close to it being kind of like busy season will pass you by if you don't get in and start getting stuff happening now. Others around you in your area will make that stuff happen. And I know it sounds a little intense, but this is the go time. We're getting close to it being a little too late, so this is the time, and getting close to the last time of the early of the year that you want to strike before it becomes busy season, and we're there, right? So jump in with the team and chat with them. So that's the apply page. The engine page, I do want to make sure everyone knows, like, it is, engine is a conversation that you want to be ready for. Like, if you're not in a point where you're just ready to slam clients into your calendar, and if you're not open to feedback we'll give you on your process, engine could be tough. You've got to do things a certain way for us to help you with your order pages and how you upsell and how you get return clients, unless it's not going to become fruitful. And our goal is for you to get a ton of results for this and change your life with the stuff you get from us always. So if you book in for engine, make sure you're very ready for a conversation of trusting us to make maybe some advice changes to what you're doing. And we're going to be dumping gasoline in. You got to be ready to get clients, because it's going to be quick. A lot of people back there tell us to slow down in a good way. They're like, whoa, which I think is really amazing. So y'all keep that in mind. If you book in for engine, that it's like you're ready to get clients and it's like ready to go type of conversation.
I got to share a stat on that. So we crunched the numbers from all of the clients we've worked with over the time we've had engine, which is a little over 6 months now. And the average client working with us has gained 0.9 clients per day.
That's crazy to me.
And that includes a lot of people who told us to slow down, because they'll give us like, hey, I can only.
And it was slow season. That's what blows my mind, is it was December and November. Most of these stats are coming from, and we got each of our clients in engine 0.9 shoots booked, 0.9 new clients per day.
Average, including the people that told us to slow down.
20 to 30 per month. Like we talk about 15 a month is great close. Well, what would 20 to 30 per month?
Most people wouldn't be wise to take on that much.
I mean, I wouldn't do. You get so busy that it actually becomes a problem, and your clients notice it. So it's almost like
you have to be thoughtful.
We could get you the amount that makes sense, and too much technically. So it's like, if y'all are ready for that, come on in. The water's extra hot there. Let's put it that way.
The gasoline.
I'm terrible with my analogies tonight. I'm sorry.
I just said the gasoline was hot, so I think I take the cake on terrible analogies. So anyway, thank you, everybody. Chat with us if you haven't yet. We'd love the privilege to work with you and help you take advantage of this industry. I'm biased, obviously, but I love this industry, and it's just so cool what can be built and is built every day. And so we'd love to help be a part of that for you and help you get this moving. And if you've already got it moving, we'd love to help you take it to the next level. So replaunch.com/apply, and we will see you later. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
See ya. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. See y'all.